We propose a change to the system of representation, one which acts as a catalyst for a healthier society, changing the way in which people are represented. I'll start off by stating the problem. I will then go on to explain our proposal. At this current point in time, an MP can become a minister for a whole section of society. Minister for Agriculture, Minister of Culture, Minister of Education, Minister of Health. But these MPs are merely careerists, often with no given experience in these set areas, representing a whole section of society that they don't come from. We must ask, is it the people within that area they care about, or their career? Often, these MPs will go on to another ministry, showing the ever-changing, non-serious nature of our political system. What we propose is that sections of society should be run by people coming from those sections, because we believe that people are best represented more by what they do than what party they vote for. We believe in creating new councils as means of representing people through these committees of people in a specialised field, allowing more specialist knowledge to develop these areas, and a more direct approach to democracy, where people from given fields of work can represent their views no matter who's in power through their specialist representatives, not vote for a party and hope for the best that their voice will be heard. We believe that democracy goes far beyond a tick on a ballot. Can we really say, when we look at Parliament, the yelling, the squalor, the insults, that this is an effective means of running a country? So much change is possible, but the status quo keeps us stuck in a state of inefficiency and stagnation. Take the House of Lords. This is a second chamber, with the opportunity to become a place where people with no political but real-world experience in professional fields can represent their people, be it in agriculture, health, science, education. But instead, it is filled often with hereditary peers who have no professional knowledge in these sections of society and special interest groups. This situation is saddening. We live in an ever-changing world, and we want a system which matches this, something dynamic, cooperative, and vital. Instead, we are held back by the archaic and weak political system at Westminster, showing no signs of improvement. Surely the Department for Housing, for instance, should be filled with engineers, architects, city planners, all coming into cooperation to decide how best to build our country. That way, society is shaped by the greatest minds, not politicians, capitalising on the genius prevalent within our society. But the genius always drifts away from politics and goes towards the private sector, whereas the stuffy, the hereditary, the career-driven get sucked into politics. I'm sure that we would all agree that certain parts of society, such as small business and agriculture, are vital for our country, and their survival must be fought for at all costs. Why then is it that they are not represented within the main democratic system? We all know the survival of small businesses is in danger. The street markets, the local businesses, domestic, locally produced goods which are traded often by families who have been in that business for hundreds of years, who are the fabric of the nation, throughout our history, are at risk of dying. Why are they not represented in the mainstream parliamentary system? They have no place in Westminster, no way to represent a trade which gives livelihood, community and prosperity to the British people. They just have to watch themselves decay as they get outflanked by the multinationals, vote for one of the two main parties and hope for the best. Their voice extends as far as the local community hall, where they will stand in a queue for 15 minutes and within 5 seconds of standing in a box, wave a pen and hope for the best. This is, of course, no surprise when we think that the former chief of Tesco donated to the Labour Party and currently sits in the House of Lords, showing who the current political system favours the most. Tesco currently has over a quarter of the share of customers' money in the grocery sector, and the purchasing power of major conglomerates makes it impossible for smaller business to compete. But the political share of power for these large companies is just as high. Is this what Labour voters voted for? Is this something that has ever been in the Labour Party's manifesto, or that they argued to the general public? Is this the best way to represent people? And what does this say about the House of Commons and the House of Lords? We want to ensure the survival of these essential trades, and think that the best way to do this is through representation in Parliament. If this happened, the squalor of Parliament, the yelling, the insults, the backstabbing would disappear, making way for an environment of cooperation, clear-headed problem solving, where making the best decision is what matters the most, not beating the other party. This goes beyond party politics and would do what the major parties fear, making them non-essential.